Alright, Rabbi say Shalom Aleichem, a new week called Parshas Ki Savo. Ki Savo al-Oretz, that's the Parsha with the Tochacha, the curses, and in the beginning it has about Bikurim, and it has about Vidui Meiser, and 11 Arurim, and Har Zikrizim, and Har Abel, and the curses, the Tochacha, the 98 curses. Let's start off with the Mayim Beis HaSheva, what he says on Ki Savo. When you bring Bikurim, first fruits, that means not all fruits, not first apples, or peaches, or plums, or pears, only 7 species. The Shivas Aminim, the first wheat, and the first barley, and the 5 peiros, figs, dates, olives, grapes. That's called Bikurim. When they start the first bundle of wheat, you put the bundle together, put a little gummy around it, and then a few months later, when it's fully grown, you cut it and bring it to Yerushalayim. The same thing with wheat, the barley, the olives, the grapes, the dates, whatever. So you bring it to Yerushalayim and you make a declaration. In, I think it's 8 Pesukim, you say 300 years of Jewish history. Arami Ovid Ovi eventually brought me to this country. Let's take a look what the Mayim Beis HaSheva said. When you come to the land, Hashem L'kechem Dosen Loch Nachala, that God gives you for Lechot Nachala, says in Sifri, do this mitzvah Bikurim, because as a reward, you'll get to Eretz Yisrael. How can you do the mitzvah before you get to Eretz Yisrael? Because it says you do this mitzvah, bischora, as a reward, you get Eretz Yisrael. You can't do it till you get there. Number 2, they can't do it for the next 15 years, because the first 7 years is kivush, conquer. The next 7 years is chiluk, subdividing it. Then on the 15th year starts the first year of Shemitah. So they can't do this until they plant and stuff, and then Bikurim, the first year, their fruits. Only it has to be yours, not what the guy planted. So how do you do this? How do you do the mitzvah before you get there? We have another question. When you bring the Bikurim, you say, Higadati Hayom, I'm declaring today. You put it in a basket. You tell the Kohen when you get to Yerushalayim, I'm telling you today, I'm declaring today, L'Hashem L'Kach, to God your God, Ki Bosi Al-Aretz, I just came to the land, Hashem Nishba, Hashem L'Avosenu, that God swore to our forefathers, L'Seis L'Onu, to give to us, and finally I'm here. So it comes out that you just came, right? But this mitzvah is every year. Those you've been there 50 years, and those you're the 5th generation. How do you say, Ki Bosi, I just came? If you're there, your grandfather, your great-grandfather's there. Even if you came there 50 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, how do you say the statement, Ki Bosi al-Aretz, I just came to the land, not bring Bikurim because I just came? You're a Ben Eretz Yisrael, your grandparents lived there. Therefore you give an answer, says the Mayan. Eretz Yisrael is different than any other land on earth. When you get to France, you're in France. When you get to America, you're in America. When you get to Guam, you're in Guam. When you get to China, you're in China. But when you get to Eretz Yisrael, you're not in Eretz Yisrael. Until you get to Yerushalayim. Then you have finally arrived. Iker ha'aretz hu ha'kedusha, sedes kadsha, be'eser kedushos. The world, the Eretz Yisrael has a certain kedusha, and then Yerushalayim, the outer city, then Yerushalayim, and then Dazora, and Neder, and Kodesh, finally, eventually Kodesh Kedoshim. 10 levels. Look at Masechta Kalim, in the beginning. The Chaim, Av B'Rioso Nimzor, even though you found in Eretz Yisrael, though you're talking number, you can't say that you're in Eretz Yisrael. Until you come to the Mikdash. Because that's why you have Eretz Yisrael. Because we have to have a holy city, which has in it the base of Mikdash, which has in it the Kodesh, which has in it the Kodesh Kedoshim. It's all focused and centered on one spot where the word of Hashem comes out to us from the Dvir, the Holy of Holy, where the Devar Hashem comes out. Bein HaKruvim, from the Kodesh, from the Arna Kodesh. You haven't arrived until you really arrived. Moshe Rabbeinu, the land, the Holy Land, that's on the other side of Yarden. Har HaTov, the good mountain, that's the Har Maria. Ves Halbono, the Lebanon means the building that's melabein, you cleaned you from your errors. Har HaTov, Yerushalayim. Halbono is the Beis HaMikdash. I got in the hill, I'm declaring today, Kibosi, I just arrived in the land. I just reached that high Madrega. Shirak Achshav, only at this moment. But Isi LeMikdash, I came to the Mikdash, now I'm in Eretz Yisrael. Now I know why I'm here. Nishtal me Etzli, it has finished for me the concept of coming to Eretz Yisrael. That's what the Sifri means. Do the mitzvah in order to get Eretz Yisrael. Make up your mind before you get there that I'm coming there only to do the mitzvahs, bring Bikurim, come to the Beis HaMikdash. Bischar of the idea that I want to come to Eretz Yisrael and do all the mitzvahs. That's why you're going to get Eretz Yisrael. V'zechusah lavo el hamikdash. That's the first part. The kakta merashis, you take some of the first fruits, the 7 species, kol pri adoma, and you bring it to the Beis HaMikdash. It says Kesuvas, Kuvhei on the base. Anyone who brings a gift to a Torah scholar is like you bring Bikurim. That means that the world of a Talmud Chacham, it's like the Beis HaMikdash. All he thinks and does is only about Torah, mitzvahs, Hashem. That's all. He's never out of his mind, ever. Even if he goes to work, even if he's playing ball, even if he's swimming. It's all Hashem Shemaim to strengthen the body, to eat food in order to get up in the morning to daven. It's all focused for one purpose. You know, great, successful people in the world, even non-Jews, even secular Jews, if they're big scientists and doctors and businessmen, you know, they're highly focused, driven for one goal only. They're not a jack of all trade. They're the greatest eye doctor, heart doctor, businessman, investor. You know why they're great, world class? Because they have the eye on the goal every second of the day. Businessman, every person they meet in the street, maybe he could be my customer. That's why he's successful, because he's focused and driven. A Talmud Chacham is a person who's focused only on making the world fit into the Torah, not the other way around. The Kohen Gadol is like the Talmud Chacham is like the Kohen Gadol, and the gift you give him, any gift, is like Bikurim. Next part. All right. Arur, cursed is the man. This is the first of the 11 curses. Targum Yosef says there are 12. Others say there are 11 curses. The last one is Arur Ashalo Yokim Dibra Torah, those who doesn't keep this Torah. Some hold there's only 11 curses. Targum Yosef said there are 12. All right. The Arur, the number of first Arur is about making a graven image, an idol, and bowing down to it in private. No one should see. Arur ha'ish, curses a man, asher yaseh pesel, that makes a image, a picture. Yaseh pesel, u'maseicha means that something casted, 3-dimensional. A picture is 2-dimensional. A statue out of wood, steel, gold, stone, is 3-dimensional. Pesel, u'maseicha, pesel is 2-dimensional. And maseicha means 3D, 3-dimensional. It's the abomination of God. He puts it in a private place and he worships it. This is abomination to do Avodah Zarah. That's why you're called Arur. Because if the Bezdin would catch you doing that, they'd kill you. It's a Chaim Misa. But Arur means you have no Adam. But God knows what you do. You're cursed. You're going to be abandoned. Ariri, childless. You die without children, or if you have children, they'll die. Or you'll die early. You'll be abandoned. Arur, cursed. Related to Ayin Reish Reish. Ayin Reish Yud Reish. Ariri, childless. Arur, this is without Adam, all these 11 things. Arur ha'isha sheyasa pesel, masecha tov as Hashem, the abomination of God. Mas yedei cherish, the carpenter makes it out of wood or metal or glass or stone. Shem, some baseisa, he puts it in a private place, and he worships it. Everyone has to say the word Amen. The Imru, they say Amen. Now says the Mayan, How come all the 11 curses, everybody answers Amen, but the word is V'omar? Only the first one, it says V'imru. That's the Mayans question. Ma Eitzel Kol HaRurim Kasis V'omar Kol Amen. Every single one of the 3.5 million people, and even the Erev Rav, which is 2.4 million, so together 3.5 and 2.4 is about 6 million people. But Omar, everyone said it like one man, B'lei Bechad, one man. They're totally, completely convinced this is true. It's true. Amen. I agree that he should be cursed. And Omar, they said it all like one man, but only the first one, it says V'imru. They all said it collectively. Not everybody was 100% agreement on this. Why? Is the first one about Avodah Zorah, not the word V'omar. He said, all millions of people said it like one person. How come the first one says V'imru? They all said it together. Some didn't say it with such great kavanah. It wasn't totally unified in one way of thinking. Why? All the other was B'lashon Yachid, this B'lashon Rabin. You know why? There was one group there. In their heart, one man there, from a certain Shevet, brought out from Egypt a little image. He was a simple man. He wanted to make for his mother a memento of Yetzias Mitzrayim and Kriyas Yamsuf. A little image he wanted to engrave, some kind of thing to remember the 10 plagues and the Kriyas Yamsuf and Yetzias Mitzrayim and Matan Torah. He was a man amongst them. He violated God's word, even though they said, don't make any image, or a graven image, or statue, anything, and worship it. Don't do it. His name was Micha, the Pesel, the image of Micha. He came from the tribe of Binyamin. That refers to them. The Imru, they all said it. One group didn't say it with such kavanah, because that cancer, that rot was in them already from the time it's fine. Pesel Micha. Hundreds of years later, a religion came up, Pesel Micha. Look at the end of Shoftim there, the last 5 chapters about Pesel Micha, which led to Pelegish Begiva, and 40,000 people from Binyamin were slaughtered. Civil war broke out. Last 5 chapters of Shoftim. That's my father's wife. Pislo Shel Micha. He meant it well, but he violated it all. Pislo Shel Micha Hoya, he hachlota, a decision, lasos pesel, to make an image. He had a noble intention. Shehoya semel, a likeness, lemar kvod Hashem, to show the greatness of God. That's a big avera. You're not allowed to make a picture, image, statue of anything. It's called, you're not allowed to make any kind of image. Noble intention. But he was a simpleton, a pusher, a man. Well, I'm sorry, he did a chet. And there were hundreds of years later, started a civil war called Pelegish Begiva. Man cut up his concubine in 12 pieces, sent it to all the Shvatim, and there was such a furious thing. 80,000 people got killed, 40,000 from Binyamin, 40,000 from Yehuda and Yisrael. Read, learn it, last 5 chapters of Shoftim. Let's go to the next piece, the Mayim. Yitein Hashem es oyivecha, hakom alecha, nigoven lefanecha. God will make those enemies that come against you smitten before you. They'll just kill each other. Or you'll do a little bit and they'll be petrified and turn into confusion and kill each other. Chav ches zayin. Yitein Hashem es oyivecha. God will make your enemies. Hakom alecha, they get up against you. Nigoven lefanecha, they'll be smitten in front of you. You have to explain this. It says right before that, if you listen to the Torah, God will love you. How could you have any enemies that fight with you? Even though you'll be successful, how can you have enemies? If you're going to, right before this, it said, everything will be wonderful, you're going to be at tzaddik, you do all the mitzvahs, and then those enemies will come against you, I'll wait to beat them up. Why should they come against you if you do all the mitzvahs? However, Torah is teaching you something here. Mitzad hateva of a human being, Sona hasheker es emes. Sheker, liars hate emes. Sheker, lies hate truth. Lying people, deceptive people hate honest people. Ra and evil hates good people. Hatuma, unholiness, hates kedusha. We find that by Avraham Avinu. In Lech Lecha, Yud Beis Gimel, Umekalelecha, those who curse you, or I will curse them. Why should anyone curse Avraham? He's the Amud HaChesed, he was good to all the Gentiles. She'af she'is baruchu bo, kol mishpachos Edom, all the nations of the world will bless you, Avraham. They called him king of the world. They called Avraham. It said, after Nossi B'suchen, you're a king amongst us, said Nimrod and everybody. So why would they curse you? We call him Teva by nature. Hatuma of unholiness. Vada Yirlo, there'll be people that will curse him, even the great tzaddik. Didn't people hate Moshe? The wicked one. Dosan and Aviram. Weren't there wicked people that stood up in front of Moshe Rabbeinu with a woman and said, is this mutter or is this usher? Moshe is usher. He says, and you married a Moabite, Ammonite? Yeah, but I was before Mount Torah and she converted to Torah too, and B'nai Noach, Zimri we're talking about. Aren't there people, the Megadev, who hated Hashem and cursed? There's people that hate tzaddikim. By Teva, Tuma hates Tahara, and Sheker hates Emes, and Ra hates Tov. Cannot help that. So Hashem said, even though you're tzaddik and keep everything, there will be in certain people that just can't handle that. They'll hate you. But Ulai Zeh Inyan Milchamis Gog and Magog. Maybe that's the reason for Gog and Magog. She is Chaim, Bezman, Bias HaMashiach. At the time Mashiach, there'll be this Gog and Magog concept. After Mashiach comes, still they're going to attack. Didn't Amalek attack you right after you got out of Mitzrayim? You defeated the Egyptian army, they all drowned it, but he still came. After Mashiach comes, it's not the finish, it's not the climax. There's going to be an anticlimax. Gog and Magog is going to wipe you out, try to wipe you out. But Gog and Magog is kind of being man based on Mashiach. Sha'afal b'shoz yira kol yamei oris ki Shem Hashem nikrei al Amo Yisrael. Even though everybody sees that God has this special treasure, this Am Segula, this Am Kodesh, this Am Elyum, this superior nation, holy, special, there'll still be some that cannot handle it, they will attack you. Afal b'ken Yosef, some of the B'cham, they're going to come out to war against you. Ki teva hara, the nature's evil is this Nagila Tov, to go against Tov. They are attracted to Tov. Shem was attracted to Dinah. Hitler Yamak was attracted to the Jewish people. Have to make the world Judenrein, not one of them left. He said, when you go to the countries to wipe the Jews out, go after the rabbiners, the rabbis. He understood it perfectly. He wanted to make a final solution. He got it from us. Didn't we say in the end of last week's Sedra? Timchezecha Molek. They got it from us. Yes, we will have the final solution. It's called the final salvation of the world. Yes, it will be Chikas HaMolek. Every man, woman, and child, every idea, every name, every building that has a name of them, one, it must be destroyed. That's a Jewish idea. Mechikas HaMolek. Mechias HaMolek. Hitler got that idea. The biggest Rishonim in the world understand the Parsha perfectly. They know who we are. We are the most dangerous people on earth. Even though we're 15 million. We have no diamond mines in Israel. We have no gasoline, not in the country. No oil. We have no diamond. We have no gold mines. We're the most dangerous people in the world. Everybody wants to kill us. The Romans, the Babylonians, the Greeks, the Egyptians, everybody. The Iranians, the Muslims, and the Christians, and Spanish. Everybody. We're the most dangerous people in the world. Because we have a message. You know what the message is? Hashem Hu Elokim, and they don't want to hear that. They got to get rid of us. But we know what will be. We will have the last laugh. That's why the firstborn Jew was called Laugh. Yitzchak. They laughed at us. But we will have the last laugh. Because that's the way it's going to be. Hashem made it that way. What else should we say? Last piece. Chof Tes Dalet Hey. Va'odich Eschem Arboim Shona B'Midbar. I led you 40 years in the Midbar. Regular food you didn't have, and wine you didn't have, and grape juice you didn't have, and you didn't have bread, and you didn't have normal water. It came from a rock, and lechem came from Shemayim. No shittis. They didn't drink. They didn't eat for normal food for 40 years. The man Teidu, you should know, Ki Ani Hashem Elokeichem, I am God, your God. You might forget, because once miracles happen every day, the man fell every day, and the water came every day. Once you get used to it, you put a seed in the ground, it grows. Don't you know what kind of miracle that is? You put a seed in the ground, it gets disintegrated, and then a flower comes up. A rose, an artichoke, an apple tree, a pear tree, a plum tree, a rose, a carrot, a potato, a tomato. Don't you know what kind of miracle that is? You put a seed in, here comes a human being. 6'8", big bruiser, 350 pounds. A big Talmud Chacham. Big giant. And a brain. Isn't that a miracle? Childbirth is a miracle, but you get used to it. Someone once told a great rabbi once, first time he flew in a plane, when a plane went up 35,000 feet, and I was over the clouds, because the clouds are only 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 feet, 10,000, but the plane was 35,000, 30,000, 33,000, a commercial airliner. He said, I was spoiled. I never had a davening like that in my life when I davened in the plane. So the older Rabbi, who never was in a plane in his life, he says, yeah, very interesting. I get the same inspiration in the morning when I leave my apartment in New York, and go to shul, and I look at those little lilies, those little daisies, the different colored daisies. I'm astounded. The genius of Hashem to make from this brown dirt this beautiful daisy. Rabbi, some people don't have to be in an airplane. They see it from nature. Rabbi Yerucham and the Mir Rosh Yeshiva, once said, why should you get so excited by miracles and by waterfalls and thunder and lightning and oceans and all these natural phenomena? You know, the most exciting thing in the world is, the most unbelievable thing in the world is, you hold a glass of water, which is to your eyes crystal clear, made up of two gases. You drink that. In the desert, they'll give you $1 million for one glass of water. And you drink that. That's not a miracle. You're not impressed of the godless of the Borei Olam. They put two gases together, and it comes out water. That keeps you alive. In the desert, you would give $1,000 for that. You're not impressed. You make shahakol, everything. Mia b'dvar could be will be according to what you say. You're not impressed by a glass of water. The miracle that keeps you alive, water, no smell, no taste, no nothing. For weeks you can stay alive. Okay, Rabbi side, we're finishing this year. We wish you a ksiva chasim b'tova, and to our Sephardic listeners we say tizku l'shanim rabot, be zochet to many years of good health, and ksiva chasim b'tova, should have a good year. God should give you a good year. Should be a good year to you, but should be a good year by you too. You should do something about it to have a good year. Tshuva, tefillah, tzedakah, early in the morning slichos, daven a little slower, think about the words in davening, and do tzedakah, be nice to people and smile and kind, and don't talk lashon hara. A good year by you in order that you get a good year for you. A good Yosef.